That I have some in the bedroom too. Now this was at the Chiefs Club in Bethesda when I walked in, and no one warned me that if you walk into a Chiefs Club and you have your hat on, you have to buy for the whole club all night. So these two guys I worked with, and they deliberately took me in there, and then the whole club.
We're at Aunt Sheila's apartment in the, Aunt Sheila is the official curator of the Schneider Manganello Conley clan, and this is the museum with the wall of photos.
Like the waves photos.
Yeah, those are nice.
Most of those I have in the bedroom. Yeah.
This is your group now, Aunt?
Yeah, well, some of them are good. Let me see. She moved to Florida. I guess the rest of them are still around.
This gentleman here was at the Murphy event.
Yeah, that's Jerry
That's a nice
Forrest.
picture of you guys,
He
Max.
spoke.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh yeah, I look like.
Tell me about this,
8.
Aunt.
Oh, this is a friend of mine, and she was retiring. And this is, you pipe them over to the side.
Are you one of the, yeah, you're in the
This
bottom
is me
right, huh?
Right here, yeah.
Was that in, where was
Washington. Yeah.
it? What's this building?
That's where I worked in London, in Grosvenor Square. And the embassy was like right over here, and I was like right up here.
Do you have any shots of your parents here?
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of them.
Who are these two?
That's me and Carol. Me and Carol.
Well, there's a surviving childhood photo,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I got that from someone else. And then the one down there is my mother's parents. My mother's family, yeah. And my mother is in there. She's right in the middle.
Is this one?
No,
This one?
yeah,
Your mother is in the middle.
yeah.
Did you point to it? This
Yeah.
person right there, okay.
And Aunt Loretta's the little girl. And Aunt Kathleen and Aunt Agnes. Those are all the surviving.
Your mother looks very much like Sally in that picture there,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, she did look like Sally. Sally looked like her.
Tell us about,
Oh, this was
This-
boot camp, 1951.
and that is in Virginia?
No, that was Great Lakes, Illinois.
That's where you went first?
Yeah.
Right from Pittsburgh on a train to Great Lakes?
Great Lakes, yeah. That's where the only boot camp was for both men and women at that time. And then this is when I retired.
And when you went through boot camp, did you always have an arrow above your head like that? that was added later, I guess. And this is the last Navy photograph of you, right?
When I retired, yeah.
In Pittsburgh, it says
Yeah, to the recruiting station. They had sent me back home for the last year because Mother and Daddy, I had to take care of them.
Yeah.
Was that in
Sally's house
Sally
in
and
Penn
Sam's
Hills,
house?
yeah. This was when Teresa got married, so Aurora came up for the wedding. And this
that
is
was just a
Carol.
couple years ago, right? The one on
Well,
top.
that's about 16 years
No,
ago.
I mean
No, this
top.
one up
yeah.
top is
Yeah, that was just a couple years ago.
more recent.
Yeah,
Of the
Weird thing is
four
you
Conley gals.
yeah.
The weird thing is, most of you have your hands almost exactly the same way.
Yeah, well, we didn't intend that. We sat so we would be like the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this, Aunt? What on top there? You're with the station wagon. Who is that?
Yeah, I was on recruiting duty in downtown Pittsburgh. And we were doing some kind of recruiting, but I always loved the way he was looking. He looked at me like, well, isn't she the cutest? First one that ever graduated from Radioman School. First
Really?
one. Yep. We started with 45. And these are teachers. These are the guys. I think there were 13 of us that graduated.
That is, okay, Radioman School. It's September 27, 1963 in San Diego.
Yeah.
And so you were obviously stationed there in San Diego.
Well, I went there for school, yeah, it was over a year. And they had this, I thought everyone was so nice because everyone was encouraging me. Like, you can do it, Sheila. You know, you'll be the first one. You can do it. And I found out later that they had a pool of when I would fail. And the ones that were further on would be encouraging me. And then once I passed the time where someone would make some money off it, they forgot about it.
Yeah. What, you hear about the tailhook scandal with the Navy. Were the men like that, or were they gentlemen that...
They were gentlemen in those days.
Yeah.
Because there were so few of us. And they just... In fact, in this school, at one time in one of the classes, some guy was so frustrated, he said, "Oh, Christ." And they put him on report because he swore in front of a woman.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course he hated me after that.
What about the resentment? Did they think you were taking up a spot that should have been filled by a man, or did they respect that you were serving your country?
They didn't like the fact that, I was sending them to sea. Once I was trained, and I would send someone to sea, but it was never personal. I mean, they never knew that I was going to be the one that was going to send them to sea.
Yeah.
And they were always real nice to me. Every once in a while you'd meet someone who was...
Who's that? Is that Howie?
Yeah. He
That's
was in Korea.
your brother Howard, Korean War veteran. Is this him as a younger man?
No, that's Pat. My brother Pat.
Brother Pat.
Yeah.
And he was in a car accident, right?
Yep. Just before his 21st birthday.
Where did that happen? In Pittsburgh?
Westinghouse High Level Bridge.
Were you in the service at that time? And
Yeah, I
how'd
was
you
in-
find out about that?
I was in Hawaii when I came home for the funeral. Yeah. He had been in the Navy. He just got out. That was when you went in for 2 years. Of course, when I got home and I found out he had found a credit card of mine, and I owed like $1,000 for Kaufman's.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
How about over here at these pictures here? Is this...
Well, this is your family, at Easter. This was before you, because this would be John.
Yeah.
That's my mother. This is your mother's wedding. And I was her bridesmaid.
Oh, there you are there.
Yeah, this was St. Bede's. And this is my brother Pat. And that was a little boy that Sally used to babysit.
Is that you next to him?
Yeah, no. That's a little boy. That's Pat, and then there's a little boy.
Oh, okay. That
Sally babysat.
picture's a little hard to see.
Yeah.
How about these three
That's
people there?
Cousin Dorothy, Sally, and this would be my father.
I'm trying to see that. It's difficult to see that.
Yeah, this is me and Mark. And then this is Beth and Mark are in there.
Do you remember those days sitting on the front porch of Castle
Oh,
Drive, huh?
Yes.
That's a pretty typical
And
setting
then
there.
This is when Ryan would say, "I don't know."
Yeah, that's your old stoop at Hastings there,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You and Mom on the old stoop with Ryan.
I took that picture.
Did you?
I remember it started raining and Ryan took off all her clothes and started dancing. I love that.
These are the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, Teresa,
Smokey in
that's
there?
you standing up, and Kathy and Mom.
And Teresa and Kathy.
That's actually Bandit, Max. That's the
Bandit.
older dog.
Yeah.
Who's the Navy guy? Is that your
That's
brother?
Pat, yeah.
Boy, it's hard to point this camera and get it
Well,
right.
here.
There it is. No, you
Oh.
stay there where you are. I just have to point better.
This is Rora's mother, and they came for the summer, and it's the twins, Sheila and Marta and Teresa and Kathy. Teresa and Kathy looked like twins.
Is that Hastings Street in the backyard?
No, that would be Reynolds Street. We had a
Reynolds
big
Street. I
backyard.
never went there.
Yeah.
How about this
That's
photo?
Howdy
Where is it? Right there.
before. Oh, this one?
Yeah, Howdy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Howdy. He went, that was before he went into the service. Yeah. And then
And
this is Beth and Teresa.
Beth and Teresa.
Yeah.
That's your mom and dad, right?
Yeah, this is at Sally's wedding.
Did they enjoy themselves at the wedding?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're all
Here's a
dussied up.
Here's a great picture of the wedding that people really love. Because this is my father with his two sisters. And look at them all smoking. And this one is married to a throat doctor. He's sitting over here, and he's smoking too. Woody, Uncle Woody.
Smoking
This
was
is-
the
Yeah, this is
order of the
Aunt
day
Genevieve.
back then, wasn't it?
Aunt Genevieve and Aunt Mary, yeah.
And how about up above there? Who's that?
That's
in that?
Sally, and when she was in Hard House, and Mother and Daddy.
She was sick at that time, huh?
Yeah,
Staying.
she had rheumatic fever. She was there for a year.
And they would go up to visit, I guess. This is one of their
Yeah.
visits.
Yeah,
Did you ever get up there?
no.
They didn't let you, because they
No, 'cause
probably
they
had her
to take a
quarantined.
bus. Yeah, well, she was quarantined.
How about this picture here?
That's Mother, Daddy, and Teresa and Kathy on Reynolds Street.
How did they react to starting having grandchildren? Were they doting grandparents?
Yeah, yeah.
And how about the four gals here at this?
Yeah, that's when I was in boot camp and we had to leave and we went into Chicago and we were at a restaurant. And this was all one of us, like one of those long booths. I just cut the picture in half. And
And
I think,
you're wearing your
This
hats,
is
so
me,
did you
yeah.
buy the drinks that night?
no, it was only in the Chiefs Club, and I wasn't a chief, so we weren't even allowed in the Chiefs Club. It's only in the Chiefs Club if you walk in wearing your hat that you have to buy.
Okay,
And
okay.
we were at a club, and we were all so proud of our uniforms, because we were allowed to wear our pin for the first time. Yeah, and this is Max, and Jennifer, and Ryan.
Tell her to come on over. Or whenever.
Like she's
I'm
gonna
taping.
knock this out of your mouth. And Jennifer's off in her own world, couldn't care less about anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is Marta on Hastings Street, when she first got married to the first guy.
Here are the Schneiders, huh? Very
Yeah.
early picture of the Schneiders.
Yeah,
Oh, look at Clem.
yeah.
Proud father Clem.
Let's see. That'd be Dad.
Yeah, and this is Kevin, Sheila.
Yes.
This is
Oh, wait,
Pat.
no, that's Beth.
Yeah,
Dad. Pat and the twins.
yeah.
How about
No,
this?
this is Pat.
That's Pat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here, Christopher.
All right, I gotta leave. So
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I'll stop here.
There's one over here.
It was this one. I wanted to
Oh, okay.
find
And
out
This
who you saw in this one.
is when that friend of mine retired, and that's me, and this is her family.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's Myrtle Johnson.
You're right. I recognize the
Yeah.
air conditioner in the wall. That is the
Yeah.
same.
And this is Kim and her father and mother.
Yeah.
This is Lona Murphy and Smitty. We went to Atlantic City, and she won $500.
Oh,
She was
wow.
thrilled.
What do you have in your hands
Oh,
in this picture?
This was when I was stationed in Norfolk, and it was like getting people to vote. And this is an absentee ballot, and they had a little article in the
Now,
newspaper.
I know you did. What did you do in the Navy?
I was a radioman.
But you did some PR too, didn't you?
Well, I was on recruiting duty,
Yeah.
so that would be, yeah, twice I was on recruiting duty back here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So that would be considered PR, yeah.
And what does a radioman do with the Navy?
Well, the guys did, when they went aboard ship, Morse code, you know, messages back and forth, because they didn't have computers.
Yeah.
What I did was work in the code room, because everything that you sent out had to be encrypted, and then everything you got in had to be decrypted. And they had specialized machines that did that, which they don't have anymore. Now it's encrypted online,
Yeah.
and it's much quicker.
So you knew how to take these messages and
Oh, yeah, and yeah.
encrypt them.
Yeah, and that's how I found out when I was in Hawaii. I found out that Kennedy authorized use of the atomic weapon against the Russians. And so this it came in like in the middle of the night for admiral's eyes only.
Yeah.
They always forget that someone has to do it. So the next morning I put in for leave. Of course, no one knew about this. So I thought, if I'm going to die, it's going to be on the beach in Hawaii. So I rented an apartment down on the beach. Spent the whole week there just enjoying myself.
And this would have been during the
It was all
Cuban
great.
Missile Crisis?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were lounging with a Mai Tai.
Yes. Yeah, because the communication center was underground, and we knew that if anything happened, what they do is they had watertight doors. They shut those doors, so we were in there for the duration.
Yeah.
They bombed the top. You know, we had to keep going. I thought,
Oh, my.
no, I'm not gonna.
That had to be a frightening
that
time,
way.
huh?
Yeah, it was.
Were you claustrophobic?
Not then I wasn't, but I still didn't want to.
Yeah.
they had this tunnel that you could have gotten out through the mountains, but it had huge roaches that were white, like mulatto,
Oh
or
my God.
because they had been down there forever.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not crawling through that tunnel.
Yeah. How about here? Do you remember when this picture was taken?
Yeah, that's when Beth lived with me, and I was going to school.
You were at where? Pitt?
Yeah, at Pitt. And this is Hawaii, of course.
That looks like the familiar look of Diamond Head behind
Yeah,
you there, huh?
yeah.
So you're on Waikiki Beach in this
Yes.
picture.
Uh-huh.
How about, I guess you are here too in the, where you're in your
No, this
bathing
was
suit?
my very first Christmas there, and someone had rented a cottage and invited a bunch of people, and we went and we were just like sunbathing and
There's Diamond Head.
yeah.
It's funny because I have my honeymoon picture right now. That's
Yeah.
not changed one bit.
No.
Never will.
No.
Well,
Up here it has, because at this time you just had the Royal Hawaiian, and then the Army base is the only one that had like palm trees and all.
Fort DeRussy, right.
Fort Jerusalem, yeah. So it was really clear, but after that they started building. And now I don't think you'd have this clear view.
Right. Well, you know what? We honeymooned on Fort DeRussy. It's now the Halikoa Military Hotel.
Oh,
And it's still a beautiful stretch of Waikiki Beach. How about this? This looks like it's in
yeah,
Great
that
Britain.
was in Great Britain, and they had they had them all the time, I think it was for Guy Fawkes Day, and they'd have a parade, and the kids would have treats, and they'd have,
There you are there.
Yeah.
Upper left. Is that you?
no, that's,
Oh.
I'm over here.
Okay, hold on. There you are. I
Yeah,
see you there.
right there, yeah. And we had to judge who was the winner, and we participated in like one of the races. And it was just an English neighborhood.
How about down here in this picture here? Is that your radio?
Yeah, that was when I was in radioman school, and that was the very end when you had to take your test, and you had to go into this room, and they would put an error, a mistake, or something wrong with a piece of equipment, and I had to find that, what was wrong. And I walked in, and they had like the transmitter and the receiver, it was all set up like aboard a ship. And the chief standing at the door like this to make sure no one cheated. And I said, would it be cheating if you told me which one was the transmitter and which was the receiver? He said, oh, Jesus Christ. But I really didn't know the difference because I knew it all on paper. And he told me, and then I figured out on paper and I passed it.
Who is your dad with in this picture here?
Harry Paradine. He was his best friend. They stopped drinking together.
Okay. Well, that must have been tough, huh?
Well, he got so involved, both of them, in AA, and they kind of started AA in Pittsburgh, them and Tversky, Rabbi Tversky.
Was it a Kalex or something like that? Catholic?
Well, yeah, they did start that too, the Catholic alcoholics.
Is this Marta and Sheila here? Let's see.
Yes, this is at Marta's second wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about these people in this picture?
This is Teresa and Kathy, and Michael and the twins.
Oh, that's
and they were
nice.
here for the summer.
And where's Evelyn here where she's not feeding the alligators?
Down in Sanibel.
Okay. And who's this gentleman?
That's the guy I went with in London. And then, I stayed in touch with him over the years.
Nice guy.
Yeah, and that was about maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, he lives in Boston.
Okay. Here's our more recent vintage photos. Mark and Beth there having some coffee. Let's move to a different one here. What have we not covered? There's the waves at one of your Veterans Day parades, huh?
Yes.
Mark would take you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, each one is from a different year. He's been doing it for about 14 years now.
Some more photos of John and Luke. Let's see, and who's this?
That's Pat.
Your brother Pat.
Yeah, when he went to St. Bede's.
And is that you in a convertible car there? What is that?
In Norfolk, Virginia. That's the barracks that I lived in, and the guy I was going with had this car.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And how about below that one?
Yeah, that's Jane Riddell and me. I think that was before I went in the Navy.
Jean was a friend you grew up with, huh? Did she go to grade school with you?
Yes, I can show you her picture in the in the grade school picture.
Boy,
And this is Egypt.
you are right at the Great Pyramids, huh?
Yeah.
And you're riding a camel.
Yeah.
That is something.
Yeah.
What year were you in Egypt, or
That would have
years?
been, I think, 54. 54, I think.
It's your brother Howdy and a Korean
Yeah.
gentleman?
Mm-hmm.
He towered over the Koreans, didn't he? He
Yes.
was tall.
Yeah, he did.
And there's your mom and dad there, too, smiling. One of the few photos of your dad smiling. He's stern in most of the photos.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Was he a serious guy?
No, he wasn't at all, no.
Who's below that?
That's
That's Dorothy.
Yeah, when she was staying here after her husband.
And then we have your dad again.
Again,
And
it's Easter. My mother and
Oh.
father and me and John and Sheila. I don't know what
I
to call
think
her.
it's Sheila there, yeah. Colleen's not in that one.
Yeah.
And that's Castle Drive, because I recognize the multicolored bricks of the next
Yes.
door house.
Uh-huh.
Who are you with? Let's see, this
That's
picture.
Jane Riddell. And this was after I was in the Navy and I came home on leave. And we went to visit Evelyn, who was married then, and she lived in this, it was an old house, but they had an apartment on the 3rd floor. And she was taking the picture. And then this is Dawn from over there
Yeah.
in London.
You guys are out to dinner there, all dressed up,
Yeah.
it looks like. Is that a dog in your lap? What is
was
that?
That was a purse. That was Estelle.
Oh, okay.
A poodle purse.
It looks like an animal.
Yeah.
And there you are
This
sunbathing.
was in Hawaii. Yeah.
You have
It's the
enjoyed the
retirement
sun in
again.
multiple
Yeah.
continents, haven't you?
Yes.
And
And
here's,
Dorothy and Evelyn and me, when Mark was just breaking ground for Somerset, we went to that.
did Dorothy grow up with you and Evelyn and,
Well, Dorothy is Jean's sister-in-law.
okay.
Yeah. Jean married her brother. But we were never close friends until, after Jean died. And then this is your mother and me and the 2 kids. Like, I babysat them before I went in the Navy. Then your mother took over. And this is when I came home on leave.
That's got to be one of your early leaves, huh? 'Cause
Yeah, the boot camp, yeah.
you look like a low-ranking Navy person in
Yes.
this outfit,
Yeah.
whereas some of your others look like
Yeah.
later. And where are you guys here? Are you in?
This is where they lived.
Point Breeze?
Point Breeze, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's you and the late Mayor Caligiuri.
Yeah, I was a committee woman, and so he had some kind of a fundraiser, and, politically they had their picture taken with everyone.
How about below this picture? Who are these two?
That's Howdy and his best friend Joe Walker, who died. He was in the Air Force.
And here's your parents
My
again.
father, yeah, and Pat again, his school picture. And then this was
Paul's.
when we lived on Gettysburg Street. So this would be Sally and Pat and Howdy. That's Carol, my mother, and then this, you can just see a bit of my face there. And
Wow.
then these 2 kids they lived downstairs. We lived in a 2nd floor apartment, and they came up and had dinner with us that day.
Okay, so there's Aunt Carol, there's your mother. I'm getting close-ups here. Your
Yeah.
dad, you just see part of his
Yeah.
head. There's Sally.
Uh-huh.
Who's
Pat.
Pat, and
Pat.
then
Howdy.
and you must have taken this picture, I'll bet.
Well, this is me right here, but you can just see the bit of my face there.
This is one of the few photos I've seen of your whole family
Yeah.
dining or
Yeah.
just living.
Yeah.
Who's this
That
shot?
would be Aurora and Teresa and Kathy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a nice picture.
And this is their wedding, Nathan.
Nate and Kathy with
Yeah.
Mayor Murphy.
Mayor
That's right.
Murphy.
He said they're
The first wedding he did
yeah.
when he was mayor.
Is that right? That's
Yeah.
great trivia.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, let's get Kitty. Oh, Kitty ran away. I was gonna get her. And is that Mom there?
Yeah, that's your mother. That was me. This is Max and Alex.
Max and Alex at a soccer game. It looks like.
Yeah.
And there's Marta's wedding.
Marta's second wedding, yeah.
Yeah. There's Michael surfing.
Yeah.
Is that Waikiki also here?
Yeah, it is.
How about this school photo? What are we
Okay, well,
looking for here?
this is Evelyn
Wait, let's see, Evelyn. Point your finger again.
right here.
Okay. Got it.
And this is me. And this is Jean O'Brien right there.
Who is Jean
Jean
Rydell?
Rydell, yeah. she
Right
married
there.
her, yeah. And then the others are all people that I knew, still know,
You had the hair barrette. Where were you? Okay, I see
right
it.
here.
Yeah. That's really nice. There's Robert Mitchum, huh? Tell us how you saw
Yeah.
him.
Well, I was in Hawaii, and they sent me over to one of the islands. They were having a fair, and they sent me with a bunch of CBs who are just crazy people. And that he
What was the letter?
filming- What?
CVs, did you say?
CBs.
CBs, okay.
Yeah, which are like seals, you know.
Yep.
And he was filming a movie there. And so they only had one motel on the island, and we were all staying there. But I was the one that manned the booth all day long, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. And the CBs were off partying with the kids, the girls from, you know,
The movie.
the movie, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And so I would come in at night, and they'd all be in the bar having a great time. And one night I got so upset, and I went in. I said, "I'm starving to death, and you leave me there all day, and no one ever comes to relieve me, and there's nothing to eat." And I was just crying. He said, wait a minute. Just stay right here." And he ran up to his room, and he brought down this big package. He said, "My wife sends me this. All it is snacks." And it was like crackers, because the restaurant was closed by the time
Yeah.
I got home. And he saved my life.
Nice guy, Robert
Oh,
Mitchum.
yeah, he was really nice.
That's good. There's Evelyn and Tom Murphy.
Yeah, and this is like his first inauguration. He came to my house afterwards
Ah,
with Mark.
how about this gang here next to that picture?
Oh, this is when I was in a school in Norfolk, Virginia. I had just gotten out of the shower, and it was my birthday, and they surprised me with a birthday cake.
Let's see here.
And
Yeah, there you are.
I still hear from this woman and this woman. This one and this one and this one are all dead.
Huh. And do you see them sometimes at the National Waves?
No, I
gatherings?
don't, but I get Christmas cards every year from those two
That's
to
nice.
stay in touch.
How about these guys here?
That's Howdy and Joe Walker.
Joe Walker.
Yeah.
Was he a buddy?
He lived next door to us on Hastings Street when we lived up near the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so they were good friends, yeah.
There's Oliver and Sam.
Yeah.
John and Julia in Moscow. And then that's
Sheila.
Sheila Worth and her mother.
Yeah.
They're down in D.C. I think. Well, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that
where
is.
they are
That's
there.
when they visited you.
Yep, okay. I must have taken
And then
that.
this is Howdy in 6th grade.
Okay.
The only time we got our pictures taken was in 6th grade.
It's a little hard to get in there, but yeah, I got him here.
Yeah.
There he is. Little reflection on that one.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, where should we go next? Did we do these over here? No, here's a good one. It's you have an official coronation of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth from
Yeah.
June of 1953. Boy, is that neat.
Because where we worked was right within where the parade was going to be, and you couldn't get in there unless you had something like this.
Yeah.
So they issued them to us, and then when we got to work, they said, "Okay, now you can run up to the corner and see the parade as it went by."
Did you ever think when you got that we'd be standing in your place
No.
52 years later and the same queen is still
No, I didn't.
presiding over England?
Amazing, yeah.
No change. Okay, who are the gals in that?
Those are the ones here in the wave unit. That's when we opened the Women's Memorial at the Soldiers and Sailors.
Pittsburgh Waves, huh?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh-based
And
Waves.
that was the day we dedicated the Women's Memorial.
You met them here, but did you serve with any of them while you were
No.
serving? Okay.
No.
How about,
And this was the
same
Women's
thing.
Overseas Service League, which is a little bit different, but we had a convention here.
And then is that, what
This
is
was
that?
in England. And
There you are on
this
the
was-
left.
he was my boss, Mac. And
You know he's a boss because his foot's on the desk, right?
Yeah.
He must be important.
yeah, that's funny.
What did you do in England? Is it different duty?
Yeah, well, it was still communications, but what I would do was I would have to deliver the messages to the different offices. And sometimes I worked at night. And if I did, then I'd have to take them in and decrypt them and get them ready for the next day. But during the day, if I was working daylight, I would deliver them. And we had one officer that was so mean. He had this dog who was a mastiff sitting by his desk. And when I went he was a lieutenant commander. But you always said commander, you didn't say lieutenant commander. So I said, Commander, I have, and the dog stood up and whistled. And he said, what did you say? And I said, Commander, what did you say? And of course, every time he spoke, the dog got madder because I said, Commander. He was just teasing, now I know, but he scared me to death. Because I was saying Commander instead of Lieutenant Commander.
He wanted the full...
Yeah, well, he just wanted to tease. Scare me, and he did scare me.
How about